again, boys and girls. In this video we are going to be doing our handwriting for today. So I need you to make sure you have this sheet in front of you, because this is what we're going to be using for our handwriting. And you need to write your name up here at the top of it, because we always put our name on our paper. On this side of the paper is our capital O, our uppercase O, and we are going to work on it first, and then we will flip the paper over and we will do our lowercase o after that. Are you ready? This is our uppercase O. The way we make the uppercase O is very similar to how we made our uppercase C. We start at the ceiling. We do a big curve down and around. We keep going though, back up and touch. So I'll show you again. We start at the ceiling. We're doing a big curve to the floor. But for the O, we keep going up and around and touch. Look at it again. It's a big curve from the ceiling to the floor. Keep going up and around and touch. Now, boys and girls, I want you to concentrate on starting your O up here. When we are tracing, it's easy to fall into the wrong habit of starting it on the floor and just tracing it around. We always begin our letters at the top of them and work down and around. So we are starting at the ceiling, and we are making a big curve down, on around, on up, and touching. That is our uppercase O. I would like you to go ahead and do your first 2 rows of uppercase O's that you have to trace until you are finished where I'm at. Please pause the video and do that, but don't forget to come back to click on the video again and resume it and come back and watch the rest. Now we're going to do this line, and this line does not give us boxes to keep it in, and it does not give us dotted lines to trace. What it does do is it gives us the dot to start at. We need to make sure the O does not fall off the side of the line and does not get in this O's place. So we start at the dot. We do a big curve from the ceiling to the floor and keep going up and around and touch. And notice I kind of made sure as I was moving my pen, my marker, that it did not go past the edge of this line, because that would be going off the paper. And I left plenty of room right here to make my next uppercase O. So I'm going to move to the next dot, and I'm going to do another big curve from the ceiling to the floor, on up and around and touch. And notice that capital uppercase O, it's nice and big, but it did not go over here and bump into this O. And it did not go over here and get into the bubble where my next O is going to live. So now I'm going to do my next uppercase O. Again, I'm starting at the dot. I'm doing a big curve from the ceiling to the floor, up and around and touch. Start at the dot. Do a big curve from the ceiling to the floor, up and around and touch. One more time, and we don't want it to fall off the paper on this side. It just has a little line. Do not try to go over there first. That would be making it backwards. We still start at the dot, and we're going to do a big curve from the ceiling to the floor, and on up and around and touch. And see, we had plenty of room to make that O there. Even though it looked like we didn't have a lot, it didn't go past the edge of the line. It went right up to it. So go ahead if you need to, pause the video and do these O's, because next we're going to talk about this. Do you know what this here is a picture of? This is an olive. This is supposed to be the hole that's in the middle of the olive. And this is the word olive. 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 So we're going to trace olive. We're going to trace that word. Remember, when you're tracing your letters, start at the top and work your way down. Now, some of these we haven't talked about. Here is that squirmy E again. For it, we start in the middle. We come out, and then it's like a magic C around. That E is a tough letter, and we're going to have to practice it a lot when we get to it. Okay, boys and girls, finish this side of the paper. Pause the video until you finish it, and then come back, because I'm going to flip my paper over. This is the side for our lowercase o. And what's this a picture of here? It's an octopus. Octopus begins with an O. So we are going to start our lowercase o at the dotted line, or what I like to call the doorknob. And we are going to make a small curve. We call that the magic C, because it's like a C, and on up and around and touch. It's basically like our uppercase O, except it's smaller. It starts at the doorknob instead of the ceiling. So start at the doorknob, make your little curve, your magic C, go on up and around and touch. Start at the doorknob, make the magic C, the little curve, on up and around and touch. So as you can see, boys and girls, I paused the video until I finished the first two lines, and then I just clicked it and started it again. I would like you to do the same thing. Go ahead and pause the video by clicking on it. Do your first two lines, trace those little O's, those lowercase O's, and then resume the video because we're going to do the bottom of this next. Now down here, again, they don't give us anything to trace or any boxes, but we start at the dot, we do our little curve, our lowercase c, our magic C, go on up and around and touch. And we're making sure we don't go off this edge, and we leave plenty of room for this O to live in. Start at the dot, do a little curve, your magic C, up and around and touch. Start at the dot, do a little curve, up and around and touch. Go ahead and finish this line of lowercase O's. Go ahead and finish those lowercase O's, and then we will do the next section. Do you know what this is? I'll give you a clue. We use it in food, and we usually have to cut it up. Sometimes when your mom or dad is cutting this up, or if you're close to them when they're cutting it up, your eyes will start to water. It is an onion, and I love to put onions in my food. It is an onion. Onion. Onion has two O's in it. This one will always be lowercase because it's in the middle. We know we'll put an uppercase letter in the middle. This one is lowercase because it's not starting a sentence. If it was beginning a sentence, then this one would be an uppercase one. But the middle one here will always be lowercase. Go ahead and trace the letters in onion. And we have talked about all of these letters in class. So you should be experts at tracing these letters by now. Thank you for doing this page with me, boys and girls. Have a great day.